Hey, what's up, guys? Tuki here, back again with another episode of Draft to Glory with the Seattle. I never know what to call it. It's my Seattle Sea Cattle franchise mode series. And in today's episode, we sim through the 2023-2024 season. Again, as far as the team goes, it's set up quite well. We established that in the end of the last episode that I was really liking the look of this team. I feel even better about it looking at it for the start of this episode. We have the Bengoa line with Yamamoto included. I mean, we'll think of the name. There were a couple of decent suggestions in the comment section of the last one. I'm still not sure if I've seen the best one yet, though. I think we'll get there. Anderson, Dolan, Steven Belfour, and Tommy Tunnell will make up the third or the second line. And I feel sorry for Tommy Tunnell because he's the second best player potential-wise on this team, but he's kind of the third wheel behind the Bengoa brothers. Third line is Pete Rogalski with Chuck Lorentz and Riley Sutter. The fourth line is Logan Volk with Morgan Geekie and David Dillman. So I'll be intrigued to see what kind of progression we get from Logan Volk. Defensively, it's Crane with Stephen Bishop, Matt LeDuc with Ty Smith, and Jarrett Tishka alongside Wyatt Wiley. So defensively, of course, it's still quite rough. Joshua Oshie and Christopher Frazier are the tandem for this season. I'm obviously quite concerned at this point over Frazier's potential and his future, seeing what his age is and his current overall. It is a tad bit concerning that he might not be the backup goalie that we need him to be. Of course, offensively, we still need a couple of more pieces just to make sure that we're good to go for the future. Defensively, we still need a ton of work. Goaltending, Oshie is on track. He's not going to be this dominant goaltender, at least for a few more seasons. But he's on track to be the goaltender that we were hoping for when we drafted him. The problem is, yet again, of course, it did seem like this will not be the best draft for us when it comes to defensive additions and potentially another goaltender. We ended up getting the high backup goaltender in the last draft, but it really seems like a medium starter is what we need. Perhaps even another medium elite goaltender alongside Oshie, just to make sure that we have a legitimate tandem that could actually do some damage. Now, as far as guessing how many wins we're going to hit this season, I have no idea. We already have our first two. 10 wins, is that out of the question? Absolutely not. 15? That might be a bit of a stretch. From there, who knows? Especially when you consider what kind of progression we might see from Oshie. We, without a doubt, will have our best goaltending in the series to date this season. I'm intrigued to see what we can do. One way or another, we know that we will have the highest draft odds for the lottery. Yet again, it's pretty much impossible for us to not finish with the highest draft odds. Were the Pittsburgh Penguins undefeated? I need to stop this. It looked like they were 10-0, and they'd probably be 11-0. 10-5. I swear to God, I don't even know why I thought they were 10-0, considering we've played 15 games. I zoned out there. I have no idea why I thought their record was that ridiculously good. It's not. Still a pretty damn good record, 10-0, or 10-5. I mean, 10-0 would be amazing. 10-5 is still quite the record, which I still don't think we'll see for another couple of seasons, if we are lucky. When talking about that defensive situation, of course, Bishop is the only guy that we have there. And I can't help but think it's going to stay that way moving forward as we have progressed into December. 5 wins on the season after beating Dallas last week. So I had to clear my throat there. I'm sorry. You know that because you heard me do it. Sorry. But what can I say? So we lose in a shootout to St. Louis and lose to Toronto in regulation. Tacoma on 10 wins, now 11. I'll mention the Evergreens every once in a while, but let's be honest. I've talked about this before. When it comes to the AHL success, it's always hit or miss in Draft to Glory style series as to whether or not we will find any AHL success. To call it hit or miss, and by the way, but to call it hit or miss in this series as to whether or not we would ever see success. That is an understatement. An absolute understatement as we win back-to-back games. Look at us. Look at us stringing together wins. It's almost like we're a hockey team as we hit 10 wins on the season. As we beat the Vancouver Canucks 3-1 on the road. Aren't you embarrassed, Vancouver? My God. You know what? I'm going to keep letting this run. I'm going to keep letting this run. I really need to clear my throat. That's what it is. That's what it is. So you know what? Let's do this on the fly. So I don't have to pause and keep the sim engine going and it's all well and good. You ready for this? And I'm good. I mute the mic for half a second. Unmute it. Bam! We're good to go. Throat's cleared. Kind of. It's going to keep being a problem for me. I can kind of tell, but I'll take a sip of the lovely hashtag not an ad Arnold Palmer. Half and half iced tea, lemonade, Arizona beverages. Check them. I mean, you know. If you have never had Arizona iced tea, let alone, Arizona green tea. Like, I'm not a green tea type of person, but Arizona iced tea, let alone the best beverage on the planet. Half and half iced tea lemonade. It's called an Arnold Palmer, not just because Arizona says it. It's literally just always been called an Arnold Palmer. Well, not always. I suppose if someone did this in the 1800s, it wouldn't have been called an Arnold Palmer. But if it's not called an Arnold Palmer, then is life worth living? That's my question to you. Oh my God, what a beverage, and oh my God, what a team. As we approach the trade deadline, we currently sit on 18 wins. I cannot imagine what overall Oshie currently is. I cannot imagine him being below a 78 at this point. Despite our horrible defense, let's be honest. I like the players that we have, but let's be honest, our defense is terrible. Despite that fact, we're looking great. We have won 3 games in a row. Oh my God. Ow. That's the first time we've ever won 3 games in a row in this series, isn't it? Outside of the original year or two, again with Lupul and Doan, I'm pretty sure that's the first time we have ever had that level of success, which is quite crazy if you really think about it. Not really. I wouldn't say it's crazy. Obviously this team is awful, and you'd kind of expect them to be this bad. You get the point. I'm shocked that we have 22 wins this year. And I think I mentioned it. It was either an episode or 2 ago. When will the Sea Cattle have more wins than the Evergreen in a season? Well, next year might be the year as we go on one hell of a losing streak to end this season. We have the scouting to take care of one more time before the end of the regular season. Of course, we'll take a look at all the stats and such, and then we will progress through the playoffs. Let's take a look at goaltenders. Only 14 of them in this draft. We cannot end the series on a high note. We end the season on quite the losing streak, but damn it, there were some high notes. Dan high note. We finished this season at 22, 52, and 8. Good for 52 points. Trent Bengoa led the way with 59 points. You know what? Yeah, let's take a look at our team first. Let's do it. So Trent is currently an 89 overall, now 22 years old, medium elite, 22 goals, 37 assists on the season. Centered by Kyler, who is pretty much locked into an 82, which is tremendously disappointing. Like, that is tremendously disappointing that he's fallen short to that extent. 11 goals, 36 assists. That really blows. Jake Bengoa is a natural. 23 goals, 14 assists. The brothers Bengoa are monsters when it comes to offense. That's insane. Oh my God. Jared Anderson Dolan, 14 goals, 22 assists on the year. Stephen Belfour showing as an 81 right now with a solid 39-point season. Tommy Tunnell with a decent 31-point season. He is up to an 80. Rogalski, 21 points, 19 for Chuck Lorentz. And Sutter had a decent season. He had to have had power play time. By the way, Bengoa didn't have power play time. Jake Bengoa put up 23 goals without power play time. Oh my God. Logan Volk might not ever make it. Had a 17-point season. Morgan Geekie was there as well. And Davey Dillman. On defense, Lance Crane is up to a 71. Stephen Bishop as a 74. Matt LeDuc still below a 70. Ty Smith at a 71. Jarrett Tishka and Wyatt Wiley. And goaltending. Drum roll, please. Moment of truth. Oshie is a 77. 69 games played, just for the memes. 20 wins. 2,222 saves. Good for a .918 save percentage with a 2.9 GAA. 6 shutouts. 20 wins, 6 shutouts. Joshua Oshie. Oh my God. And then Christopher Fraser, again, he's just not going to be what we need him to be. 16 appearances, only 2 wins, a .911 save percentage, and a .318 GAA. So he put up better numbers than you would expect a 68 overall player to, but just not great. Drew Horton's up to a 69. We'll worry about the other players at a different time. But Dawson Butt, 19 points. I mean, that's just... I remember, when Jake Butt was drafted into the NFL and people made a big deal out of it. I hope Dawson Butt gets drafted. I really do. Let's take a look at the stats here, shall we? We'll start off with the standings to get a look at the picture league-wide. Edmonton, San Jose, and Arizona have made the playoffs. We finished 5 points behind Minnesota. Are you kidding me? 5 points behind Minnesota. They suck. Winnipeg, Colorado, St. Louis, Dallas, and either Nashville or Vegas will get that final playoff spot. I could just sim forward another day, but who cares? Toronto, Tampa, and Winnipeg have made the playoffs. Philly, the Islanders, Columbus, Washington, and Carolina are the other playoff teams. As far as the full-on team stats go, goals for, we were worst in the league, but not by much, I guess. Well, I mean, I suppose 26 goals is quite a bit. Goals against. We did finish with the highest number. Only 7 more goals allowed, though. Multiple teams, 3 teams to be specific, finished with over a 3.0 goals against per game, average, I suppose. The power play was the league's worst. The PK was also the league's worst, but not by much. We're getting better. 14 of our wins came at home. What a season for the Sea Cattle. That's all I'm saying. Progress is the name of the game. It's the name of the game, and we're making it. Let's take a look here. Nobody broke 90 points. Tarasenko with 89 points led the league. Goals-wise, only one person broke 50, and he had 55. That was Vladimir Tarasenko. Marshall Legg doing pretty damn well for Ottawa. Forsbacka Karlsson doing quite well for Carolina. And in terms of a point total there, Alex Tuck for Vegas. What a guy. Plus-minus king with Seth Jones. Worst in the league was Sutter. But again, it's only a -42 as opposed to anything too crazy. Penalty minute king. Surprise! It's Jake Dotchin, which we all knew was coming. Let's take a look here. What else do we got? How about the NHL's Iron Man, Rasmus Ristolainen? Faceoffs 1 has gone to Nico Hischier. The hit king was Morgan Riley. So keep an eye on whether or not Sutter wins the Masterton. I'd say the block shot king was Makoshin. John Moore was also up there. The most giveaways went to Lance Crane. The most takeaways went to Robbie Fabry. So I'd say it's a little bit up in the air as far as who's winning the Selke this year. My guess would still be McDavid, but Zadina has an outside chance because of the takeaways and the faceoffs one. But my guess would still be Connor McDavid. And, of course, the fight king, Jake Dotchin. Every year, for as long as he is in the league, Jake Dotchin will punch the most faces. Rest assured. Let us go ahead and sim to the end of the playoffs. Let's find out who is taking home Lord Stanley's Coupe this season. And from there, of course, it's the stat recap, the progress reports, and then we get into the main event. it's the draft. So, overall, a strong season. Our best season yet by far for the Sea Cattle. But if this draft is shaping up to be as bad as it looked previously for defensemen and goaltenders, we could be finding ourselves in a holding pattern. A comment was made as to whether or not at some point I might have to play forwards on defense. I suppose that could potentially be a thing. And to be honest, it would certainly improve our defensive situation. That might be something we have to think about, especially if this draft is as bad for defensemen as it looks. As the Edmonton Oilers win the Stanley Cup, the Bridgeport Sound Tigers take home the Calder. Let's take a look at the bracket, the Edmonton Oilers team, and the awards for this season. So Ed Money beats Carolina. They get their revenge nearly 2 decades later, beating the Hurricanes in 5. Down in the AHL, Bridgeport beat the Stockton Heat in 7. No matter what, Stockton always seems to be, no matter what the series type is, Stockton always seems to be a really good team, and I don't know why. Looking at the Oilers, though, Lou Clutterbuck. Did I say, Lou Clutterbuck, why is that so familiar? What happened with... Why is Lou Clutterbuck familiar, aside from the fact that he was drafted? Did I say he was going to be bad or not as good as somebody? Because that seems to be what's coming to mind here. But regardless, he and Connor McDavid, the only one to put up 20 points. Jesse Puljujärvi, Ricard Raquel, the Nuge, Dylan Gilas, Tobias Reeder, Kenny Strimbu, Anton Slepyshev, Johan Larsson, Eric Halla, and Curtis Laserbeam. Defensively, Rasmus Dahlin. Oh my God, Dahlin and McDavid. Are you kidding me? Oscar Klefbom, Adam Larsson, Nathan Beaulieu, Ethan Bear, and Marcus Niemelainen. The goaltender was Scott Darling, an 80 overall who put up a .931 save percentage. So maybe, just maybe, we don't need Oshie to become this amazing player. Maybe he's good enough as it is. That might be the case. Edmonton wins the Cup. Toronto won the President's Trophy. The curse is real. The Art Ross goes to Tarasenko. John Tavares with the Hart. The Norris to Doogie Hamilton. Tarasenko with the Lady Bing. The Calder, that's the one thing I didn't look at, was rookie scoring. Bear Khan wins the Calder. Still one of the best names I've ever seen. Darling the Conn Smythe the Vezina to Bobrovsky. But a second straight year. The Jennings goes to Condon. Crane does win the Masterton, so it is indeed heavily weighted on the plus-minus. McDavid again wins the Selke. Tavares the Ted Lindsay. And Tarasenko the Rocket Richard. And at this point, aside from Alex Killorn winning league MVP and Alexis Gravel being goaltender of the year, as I mentioned, for the most part, there aren't going to be any recognizable names in the second tier moving forward. So before we take a look at the lottery results, let's take a look at the progression for this season. Bengoa has kind of capped out. Sutter's capped out. Yamamoto improved, but he's only a 79, but he's playing up to an 83. That is what's deeply concerning, is that Kyler Yamamoto has just not gotten better in terms of his legitimate overall number. However, in Goon Squad, we saw that Marcus Brodin was overperforming for the majority of his career, so relying on players who are overperforming is not necessarily a bad way to go. Stephen Belfour, no major improvements, but the current overall is nice. Chuck Lorenz is up to an 81. Tennell is an 80. Oshie a 78. Anderson Dolan still playing above his overall. Bishop is a 76. That's a good bit of progression from Stephen Bishop. We'll be seeing him on this team for years to come. Rogalski's a 73. Crane a 71. Horton's up to a 70. Demirs, of course, gets worse. Stashny, let's take a look down in the AHL. So Davey Dillman up to a 69. Gleason a 68. 5-point improvement for Logan Volk. That's huge for him, seeing, what his age is at this point in time. Travis Bowdens is up to a 67. Is that it? It is not. Jeffrey Bass is up by 2. Yeah. I can't help but say it that way. It's like, Cody Bass. Like, no, it's Cody Bass. Anyway, Scott Connor up by 5 to a 59. Wisniewski's up to a 58, the high backup goaltender that I previously mentioned. He's looking pretty good. Sweetland is never going to be signed. McNaughton will probably never be signed either. But that's okay. Some good improvement, for sure. Some good improvement. We didn't have anybody go up by 10 or anything too crazy, but I'm happy with what I've seen, although there is concern for some other players. Kyler Yamamoto, for one. But let's not worry about the potential negatives. Let's worry about the potential positives that will turn into a negative once we lose the draft lottery again. Let's do this. We have the number 1 odds. Will we get the number 1 pick this year? We will not. We get the 4th pick again. LA, Chicago, and Boston jump us in the order. So again, we have to have our fingers crossed that we don't miss out. Stastny, Demers, Russell, and Reeves all retire. So we'll have to go ahead and sign some other veterans to some major deals. Marc-Andre Fleury retires with 581 wins. Quick, Rask, Dubnyk, Schneider, Reimer, and the Burglar all retire. And then for forwards, Alex Ovechkin, 842 goals, 1,510 points. Malkin, Backstrom, Stahl, and Kessel. So many great players. Call it a day. It's time to make way, though, for the new generation. You know what? I feel like the scouting class or the draft, viewing the draft class, it helps. It hasn't really helped me out, though, for how specific this is. So to the draft we go. Let's do this. Who will we have? We'll take a look. I almost don't even want to know if I'm going to miss out on anybody. There is this exact elite from the Thunderbirds. Oh, shit. Oh, we're going to miss out on Tom Nielsen. For sure. Look at those attributes. He's too good. We need a second player to be here. Raymond Veshy will go number 1. Yashin of Red Deer won't go before Nielsen. Lashoff. We need Gargulio? Johnny Gargano. He plays on the Rocket anyway. Shit. That's not good. There's no way Nielsen will still be available. There is no way. I just don't see it happening. Banting isn't going to happen. Barnes. Oh boy, again, it's Tri-City, Spokane, Seattle. Tri-City, Spokane, Seattle, or Everett. And right now, our backup option looks like Eric Clough. There is no way Nielsen's still going to be available. Why am I not in WHL? The second I saw something like Nielsen, I'm like, yeah, we're screwed. Banting's not eligible. Barnes, Alos is a no. Come on, there's got to be somebody, right? Aside from the 2 that we've already pinned. Defensively, Campbell would have been great. We have Streit, Booze, Scarabelli. Crawford's available. Don't know if he's a better option than the other ones, but Brock Crawford is there. We have Thompson, Trotter on defense. I should look at the defense above all else, but I was worried more about the first round. So defense in general, I mean, we know the top 4 there aren't eligible. Mills isn't eligible. Takashi, oh my god, please, just somebody decent. Riddle, all right, well, Jerry Riddle is available to us. That just kind of goes to show how bad the situation we find ourselves in truly is. This is rough. It's not a good draft defensively, not even close. All right, let's do this. Number 2 pick will be the guy that we want, Vichy, and Nielsen goes second to Chicago. As if I needed another reason to hate Chicago, right? Clough is still there. Clough is without a doubt the pick. over Crawford. I mean, I suppose there's an outside chance of Crawford being elite. I have a feeling he's just going to be medium top six anyway. So Eric Clough, the left-handed right-wing sniper from the Tri-City Americans, is our first round pick. He is a 65 overall. Welcome to the team, Eric Clough. Another strong forward option, but just not exactly what we needed at this point in time. Johnny Gargano goes 5th. Yashin falls to 6, which is insane. You're welcome for that, Florida. You are absolutely welcome for that. The other guy, Crawford, was also medium top 6, but at 59, so yeah. We made the right choice. Holy hell, does that suck to see. A franchise goaltender. I imagine he was from the Q. Jean Blum. Yeah, you were definitely from the Q. Damn. Chouinard, Champagne. A lot of good players in this draft. Now, the one thing, if there was a goaltender worth taking, obviously we would have seen them when we were looking previously. It's not an ideal situation. So we have Hargrave on Spokane. We might as well look at our goaltenders now, just to see. I mean, he's it. So Hargrave will be our 3rd round pick. In terms of defense, we have Riddle, and that's it. And the rest will be forwards until we're ready to start guessing. So this next pick will be a forward. It's just a matter of who will it be. To be honest, I don't know the answer to that. 2nd round, though, as the thumbstick wasn't cooperating. DeVoe is garbage. Pollock is garbage. So we're going to have to go off the board a little bit. Obviously, the hope is that Pekka is eligible. He's not, because this game hates me. In a way, it hates me, because, you know, we've still done a little bit better than I expected us to. We have Brock Riddle on Swift Current. William Witt. Where is the next player that is eligible for us to pick? This is rough. Michael Braithwaite in the grinder. There's a chance for him to be low elite, just how, you know, based off how grinders typically work. So, Braithwaite, Riddle. Outside of the fact that this game also decided to have me lose the lottery, we don't have that many great players to draft. So I'm going to make sure we get the goaltender next. Let's take Grant Hargrave, the 19-year-old from the Spokane Chiefs, with our 2nd round pick. And he's medium starter. All right. I mean, I talked about that earlier, how a medium starter goaltender could be exactly what we needed. That's what we get. 19-year-old Grant Hargrave. Not too bad. That certainly changes my outlook on this draft. You know, the 1st round pick isn't exactly, oh my God, Ronaldo. The 1st round pick isn't exactly what we needed. I'll take it, though. A medium top 6 forward is okay. That's the least that you want to walk away with when you're guaranteed a top 4 pick every year. But Hargrave as a follow-up is tremendous. So let's take a look now. We know we're going to have to go off the board. Let's play it safe and take Braithwaite, the grinder Michael Braithwaite, in the next round from the Tri-City Americans. And he is low top 6, 52 overall. So not quite what we were looking for. Not quite on the same level as a Lorentz, for example. But Braithwaite was okay. In the 4th round, let's go for Woods. Good old Ron Woods, the 19-year-old, currently playing for the Seattle Thunderbirds. He's medium bottom 6 of 54 overall, so not terrible. Certainly better than the AHL potentials. I mean, top to bottom, this is shaping up to be the best draft that we've probably ever had, with 4 at least usable selections to begin the draft. So I am more than okay with that, as we're skipping through here just to make sure that there isn't any, crazy steal that some team missed out on, on a player that I was never eligible to select as per the rules of this series. Yeah, the draft has kind of fallen off. Dupuis was a really good pick, but the draft has certainly, add that to the Toogie dictionary. The draft has certainly fallen off in terms of quality as we will prove by drafting 20-year-old Jerry Riddle from that team that I already just completely looked past. I just zoned out completely. The good thing is he's a little bit better than I was hoping for. I was thinking it was, or he's what I was hoping for. I thought he was going to be low top 6. He's medium top 6 at a 63 overall. 20 years old, though. That doesn't leave him much room for development, but he's certainly on pace already to be better than some of the other players that we have. And that leaves us with a whole lot of nothing to decide between. So this should be fun, right? Trying to figure out what the hell is going to happen here. You do have Edward Green of the Tri-City Americans. Not that I need another goaltender, but he is an option for the just, hope to God draft pick that they end up being half decent. Hainsey, we kind of have info on him, so there's no point. Maybe Green is the pick. Defensively, obviously goaltending and defense is where I'm looking right now for one of these random picks. Medium 7th with McCormick. Is he available? He's not. What about Perot? Or Perot? No, neither are available. That would have been nice. Too good to be true. Modano is available. Rod Modano might be the next pick. Jason Adamski is 20 years old at this point. Fletcher on Medicine Hat. Gogol. And Adamski was on Tri-City. Apostopoulos. Halpern. Medicine Hat. Ciolfito. And that's that in terms of decent players. Unless we wanted to go with the complete unknown, which that strategy has not been working. So we will abandon it. We could use it with Manny Willis, though. We will not. So we have 2 defensemen and a goaltender. We only have 2 picks left, though. We need the most help with defense right now. So while I have a feeling that goaltender might be decent, I have to go for the defenseman. So let's go ahead and take 18-year-old Rod Modano from the Seattle Thunderbirds, who is low 7th at a 55 overall. That did not quite work out. And in terms of the other selection here, it's going to be, what was it, Jason Adamski? 20-year-old from the Tri-City Americans. Jason, how good are you? You are not. So our issues continue when it comes to drafting defense. Goaltending has turned around, but the overwhelming thought is that we need our luck to turn around in this upcoming draft, next year's draft. We need some defensemen. Period. This game needs to be kind to us at some point, or as previously mentioned, playing forwards on defense might very well become a thing. So let's see. Oshie here is going to want somewhat of a big boy contract. Mario Petit, it's been real. You've been a great player for us, but I think it's time for you to go. I might bring you back on a big boy contract, though, just to take up space. I'm also going to let go of Stankowski, McNaughton, just to kind of clear this up. And then Hargrave and Wisniewski will not yet be signed. Although if I do, actually one of them might be AHL eligible. But that said, they can still improve without being signed. So I'm going to hold off. I'm going to switch to that strategy at this point. Bishop is looking for a half-decent deal. Garvin at low top 6. I just don't know. He's worth keeping, but man, is he not going to be that good for us. Rankin, we can let go of him. Riddle. You know what? I'm just going to sign him. Screw it. Even the other 2. Van Imp is going to be let go of. He's not going to improve. Is that it? Yes, it is. So we've sent the deal to Riddle. We'll send the deal to Adamski. Modano as well. Why the hell not? Even though we know he's in junior. Sweetland. It's not as if I'm going to, you used up one of the years of, you used up some of the eligibility years and you could have kept them. The only reason to not sign somebody right now, say, for example, what was he, a center that we drafted? Was he a right wing? There we go. Say with Klo. If he was a 75, it might make sense if our lineup was overwhelmingly good to not sign him for the 3 years, and then that way he's like an 85 overall when he signs this entry-level deal, and he's on an amazing contract for the first 3 years. With this series, we're not going to run into that cap trouble. Pretty much ever. And if we ever do, it'll be very late into this series, so it's not as necessary. Leeson, Savvy, yeah, they're gonna go. They have no room to develop at this point. I don't even need them to take up bodies. They can go. Good old Davy Dillman can come back. Klo will be signed. Mutala and Dawson, but sorry, fellas, you're not gonna make it. We will sign Woods. Left wing, Anderson Dolan can come back. Horton at low top 9 will be signed. Matt Wedman, you're out of here, buddy. I'm sorry. Sammy Molainen is gone. At center, Kyler Yamamoto, 6 years or $6 million at 4 years is insane for him, but we'll do it. Lawrence, Geeky, and Moriso will be released. So I've let go of some long-term players, but at this point, I've completely given up the thought of maintaining a decent AHL squad. So why not just go ahead and let go of the guys who are never going to make it beyond that level anyway? What is the point? By the time that AHL team is competitive and have a chance of winning anything or even making the playoffs, and as I say that, it comes back to I don't expect that AHL team to really ever compete throughout the course of this series. So do we really need a Wedman on that team to be like, hey, he was one of the originals and he won, yay? Like that's not going to happen. It just isn't. So we have 36 contracts, $67 million in cap space. Let's move to free agency, and we'll take a look at who's available. We need to hand out some of those retirement-level contracts, also known as about $19 million contracts, just because we're nice. My owner is very charitable, and plus it's not my money I'm spending, it's our owner's money that I'm spending. He doesn't give a damn. Why would he? His team sucks. If he gave a damn, I wouldn't be the GM anymore. So let's see. Bergeron still has an outside chance of signing with someone. Alexander Radulov. Mr. Radulov. Well, here's the thing. You played over in the KHL for a very long time, buddy. You're a wealthy man. You don't need any more of my money. Lars Eller, I just don't like you. I just don't. Colton Skeevier, you know what? You're one of Deej's favorites. You're one of my buddy Deej's favorites. Let's sign Colton Skeevier to a ridiculous contract. Why not? Just under 19 and a half. Who else do we have? We have Oppenheimer. Thomas Oppenheimer. Probably Oppenheimer, but still. Bobby Farnham. Bobby Farnham. Goon extraordinaire. Bill Sweat. Eric Tangradi is absolutely getting one of these contracts. Absolutely. You cannot stop me from handing Eric Tangradi a boatload of money. You can't do it. That's two $19 million contracts. Yannick Weber, Blake Parlett, Blakey Parlett, Luke Shen, Dalton Prout, Legacy, Ronaldo. Is that Jacob? Hey, former Portland Pirate Jacob Legacy. Lance Boma, Tyler Ennis, Tommy Cross. There we go. That's the type of player that we look for. That's the type of player that we look for. What a player. Tommy Cross, you're the man. And for that reason, I'm going to give you $19 million. It doesn't, the ridiculousness of it is never lost on me. Cross is the first one to accept. Skeevier and Tangradi have also signed. Let me double check. We have a little bit more money freed up. $10 million. We could use one more contract. Let's do it. One more big time contract. One team's interested. Actually, were any teams interested in Bergeron? You're going to be kidding me that no one's going to sign Patrice Bergeron or Blake Wheeler. That sucks. But also, maybe someone, somehow, some way, will sign them, in which case I'd rather have them go there than condemn them to being absolutely, wasted on this. Look at him. There we go. We needed a Portland Pirate. We needed a former Portland Pirate, and Luke Adam is the guy. No doubt about it. $9 million on the dot. I am so glad that is a thing again, as to where you can take players, because again, at the start of the season, that wasn't a thing, and I've mentioned this numerous times, where if you tried to turn a two-way deal into a one-year deal and give them a boatload of money, it would reset to the maximum two-way deal of $925, or whatever the two-way deal happened to be wherever you tried to pull off this move, because of course the maximum two-way deal ends up going up. So I wouldn't have been able to do that before, and it certainly complicated some other series. Being able to do that and just say, hey, Luke Adam, here's $9 million, so that I can, take up a bunch of cap space, and I have the free reign as a result to call up and send down whomever I want, because the cap isn't an issue. Being able to do that makes a series like this possible. So I thank EA for fixing that or doing whatever. I don't even know why it was a deal in the first place. It was just kind of weird, but it's set up in a way now that is very, very beneficial for me and what we do here as the preseason has arrived. The 2024-2025 season will begin in the next episode. Before the moment, let's take a look at the roster. So Oshie's an 82, Frazier stuck at a 68. That's incredibly disappointing. For defense, Bishop, Crane, Smith, Wiley. Let's send down Cross. We have Bowden's at a 69. He's a better potential than Leduc, so unfortunately for Leduc, he has dropped. Leduc has dropped. And still one more. Wyatt Wiley's a better player, but he's not going to get any better, is the problem. He's capped out. Whereas Garvin and Riddle might be better suited, or we just let them play in the AHL. Let's just keep going for the best overall, I guess. So Bowden's will make the team. And forward-wise, we have to send down to Angrady and Skeevier and call up the Dillman. And we are pretty much good to go. Unless I wanted to play Klo on the NHL team, but I don't have to. Horton jumping up to a 72 was very, very beneficial. So let's get an early look at what this team would look like. Sutter could still be played on the third line. I know it might be affecting him, but he's technically a third line guy, and Tennell's on the second line. Anderson Dolan's dropped a little bit, though. But Anderson, Dolan, Belfort, Tennell, Rogalski, Lorenz, Sutter, like we had last season, and then Horton, Geeky, Dillman. I think this team's basically perfect. It's going to stay the same. The forward core is going to be exactly the same. Defensively, we will go with the whole lefty-righty dynamic. Let's bump up Gleason, and that works. So Crane, Bishop, Smith, Gleason, Bowdens, and Wiley. The goaltending is set with Joshua Oshie being the absolute man. We needed him to be good. We needed him to be this good, and thankfully he is. Remember, Rob Barney is not signed with us, so we'll put Woods into the lineup. Lundin, and we don't need him or Saunders, so we're good. So our players at this point include Volk and Woods. That's it. We'll put them with Luke Adam. But my God, we just have nobody left. And then defensively, I'll probably just take out Chubarov because, again, he's not our prospect. Yeah, we have a couple of guys here. So Riddle, Bass, Adamski. I don't have to worry about Getzlaf. So let's put Riddle into the lineup. Suglobov is not ours. We'll bring him Bass in for him. And Tommy Cross, I'm sorry, buddy, but you have to sit for Adamski. So there we go. It's a decent mix of kind of, potential guys, not really, and just, it's a mess. Make no mistake about it. It's a mess of a team. But we're doing what we can. Slow and steady, particularly when the defensive prospects have been as bad as they are. Omark's not ours, so we have completely AHL signed goaltending. So the Evergreen are a mess. The NHL team, though, is looking a lot better offensively. Defensively, it's still a mess. So let's take a look as to whether or not EA has helped me out at all. Will there be any defensemen that I should get my hopes up for. Even though, if there is one in the top 5, I'll just lose the lottery again. Because this game hates me. Undeniable. So in terms of WHL, Christopher Knight is on the Rocket. I want to look just at goaltenders first. In terms of who's projected to be drafted, Hainsey is on Everett. So Joseph Hainsey could be a game changer for us. If not him, then it's basically nobody unless we draft a Melvin. And nobody wants a Melvin. So Joseph Hainsey could be amazing. Defensively, this could be the draft for us. He's on Cam Loops. Damn it. Jack Calvert could have been amazing. And Nugent Hopkins is also not an option. Right. What about one of the 2 top 10 guys? Rockets and Wheat Kings. Oh my god. First round, Abney and Geispers. Abney's not available. Geispers is... It's all the same. It's Calgary, Brandon, and Kelowna. That's it. Ostopoulos is Lethbridge. Bowman, Swift Current, Regina, Spokane, Xavier Gardner. Okay. 3rd round projected, but damn it, he's an option. Pete Donald isn't. Sloan is not. Luke Buckley for the 5th to 6th round. Sestito is not. Jonas McDonald. Okay, well, hey, you know what? At least there are options, right? And also Len Lampman. I love Lampman. After that, it gets to be a bit shaky. But there are at least some options. Gavin Sakic. What a player. Is there anybody else on defense here? This has to be the first big-time draft for us defensively. You have Halischuk and Glenn Taves. We'll see how that pans out. In terms of pinned players, though, again, we have Hainsey, and we have a couple of defensemen. None of them at an extremely high level. But who knows? Maybe this will finally be the year that we have a draft steal. So for now, guys, that will do it for this one. I thank you, as always, for watching. You know what you can do to support the video and the channel if you haven't already. If you want to do more other than just checking out the video in the first place, leave a like, subscribe, the notification bell, ring the damn thing, as they say on Watch Mojo. Yeah, smash that like button. Oh, God. I don't normally... I mean, you guys know. I try to be vague by just being like, hey, you know what you can do to support the video. Some people don't know. Subscribe, damn it. I'm trying to get to 10K here. Help me feel like this is a venture that's still worth sinking so much of my life into. Not that it doesn't feel like it now, but continue it. Continue. Just enable me, damn it. Enable me is what I'm saying. Thank you for watching. I love you all, and goodbye for now.